Welsh to really do something against this Kangaroo team as they await Old Trafford next Saturday and the second test. It's going to be a big test of them, though, and there's the first mistake from the Australians, and the referee will pot the scrum down.
Bad mistake there by David Furner, but good attack there from Jonathan Griffiths, put him under pressure. You can see there that Furner, slippery conditions, took his eyes off the football.
So Ellis feeds the scrum, gets the possession back from Perrott, and that's a good ball, and here's Sullivan, and it had to be a great tackle by Sailor, and was, because Wales was so close. Kevin Ellis is the dummy half, he finds Griffiths to Moriarty, who will drive it in, and Wales taking the match to the Aussies very early on here, and it's really good to see. Griffiths spins the ball out wide, Harris, he finds Devereux. Devereux is faced by the Australian skipper Mal Meninga, and Meninga brings him down. Griffiths racing into dummy half. The prop forward is Ian Marlowe. Good pressure coming in here from the Welsh after that early scrum. Griffiths stabs it forward, it bounces back. Wales have retained possession.
Good play from the hook. It's going to be a battle of attrition, really, between the two forwards. Two sets of forwards really will have to cart this ball up on a regular basis. Not the ideal conditions for open, fast-flowing football.
But here's open, fast-flowing football from Mullins. That looked a touch forward, and the referee, John Connolly, agrees. Mullins' pass inside to the standoff. Kevin Walters was forward.
Showed a lot of speed and a lot of aggression there. Full credit to Phil Ford. He kept to the task. Just put him off enough to make sure that the ball did go forward. A few inches in it. Kevin Walters just overstepping, but he's a talented player, this fullback, Brett Mullins.
And Australia win one against the head, and Renouf finds Wendell Sailor, who almost drops it, then comes inside Moriarty, but Moriarty has hold of him by the shirt, and in then comes Ellis and Griffiths. Renouf, the dummy half, and he gets it away to Lazarus. One or two places in the Old Trafford test, certainly up for grabs for the Australians today, and you can expect a big effort from this set of Australian forwards. Roberts driving the ball in towards the posts. The first real sustained period of pressure for the Australians in this match. Here's Alan Langer. Alan Langer still going, and well watched in the end by Moriarty, but that's how close the Kangaroos are. Walters the dummy half, and he gets the ball away. It's lovely quick hands. The strength there from the second row of Furner, and he scored. He managed to get to the post, and he managed to stretch out the arm and touch down. So the first time Australia in the Welsh quarter, and they score.
Short little pass, put the second row of Furner through. It was Fittler's lovely ball there. You can see Kevin Ellis had gone for the intercept. The gap was there, he was not held, and the ball was placed down. The forward pressure, the downward pressure was enough. But this was a superb ball. You can see how he sucked Ellis into it, and also Ian Marlowe, the prop forward, and that's a try. Deemed by the referee, John Connolly.
Furner then with the try, and it's interesting to note that that one came after a win against the head at the scrum, and of course Wales have got Jonathan Griffiths, usually a halfback, playing in the hooker's jersey today. Wishart then, who was in such fine form at Sheffield in midweek, the leading point scorer on this tour, and he adds another 2 to his tally. It was 62 points before that. For him, it's now 64.
There you can see circled Marlowe and Ellis. They both go for the same man, which is Fittler, and the big striding second rower goes through it, steps out of it. That's a well-taken try. It had to be scored.
David Furner, the winner of the Clive Churchill Medal in the 1994 Grand Final, which we saw live on Sky in September. Had a tremendous season back home. Langer is underneath that kick-off. Australia back in possession with Wishart. This is their first match against the Welsh for 12 years. Their 10th in all. And Wales yet to register a victory against the men from down under.
Pretty uphill struggle for them, really, this Welsh side. A lot of makeshift changes in their positions. Euston Harris, of course, normally a winger playing at standoff. Jonathan Griffiths, a halfback, he's playing in the hooking role.
Lazarus loses the ball. The referee has ruled a knock-on, but having ruled a knock-on, why didn't he let Wales play this ball?
Well, he should have played the advantage. Actually, it looked as though he was knocked out there by the second rower, Paul Moriarty. Either way, he lost it. Should have been play on, you're right, Eddie.
Strictly, it should have been a penalty to the Australians, because Moriarty certainly had a hand in that. This is Phil Ford. Good scampering run from Ford, the Salford winger, playing at full-back again, the longest serving player in this Welsh team. Debut way back in 1984. Roland Phillips. The problem that the Welsh have is far too many of their players are not playing regular first-team rugby at the moment. But they will certainly give it all they possibly can. There's no doubt about it that they love putting on the red of Wales here. And Young, I think, appealing that he had this ball stolen from him too.
Well, there was certainly a hand in there. Looked like Sirenen to me. Second row, David Ferner also involved, but Sirenen tried to just whip it away. Not seeing David Young given the option of the knock-on.
Well, that's 1-1 in terms of decisions and judgment from John Connolly. That ball didn't really go in the scrum, but they rarely do these days. Mullins in possession for the Kangaroos. Alan Langer is the dummy half, and here comes the captain, Mal Meninga. Oh, that was a cruncher. And somebody caught that in the face, that shoulder from Meninga as he drove the ball in.
Oh, this really was an impact thing there. Looks like Devereux to me, that caught it fair and square, right on the chin. Oh, and a swinging arm has caught Moriarty. He's down. He caught a swinging arm from one of his own players. We've got Devereux down, we've got Moriarty down. Wales are down to 11 men and under a lot of pressure now.
And Ford did well then. He used the conditions perfectly. He slid in. And Ford and Wishart eyeballing each other. I don't think Ford particularly liked the challenge, but it was perfectly legal. But Ford used the... And look at the state of John Devereux. I was going to say Ford used the conditions here at Ninian Park to perfection. Australian scoring rampage. Meninga picks himself up. Good long ball. Run off again. Good tackling though. That's what Scott Gibbs is there for. Sirenen. Again, the magnet for 3 Welsh tacklers. Steve Walters to Langer, and here's Fittler. Kevin Walters can't hang on.
Trying to force the pace out wide. Walters never really in control of it. Kevin Walters, that is. Made the first knock on. But they'll be happy with their effort so far. 24 points to 0. Just a few minutes left of this first half.
Now what the Welsh would do, they're kicking early in the tackle count against the Ford. Ford at Sailor. Ball bounces back. And the referee has deemed an Australian was offside.
Ball came off Sailor, and there you can see that it was Renouf that got his foot to it. Good decision.
Kicking very early in the tackle count, the Welsh, though, aren't they? Here they go again, though, with Ellis. Ellis gets the ball out wide. Nowhere through then for Roland Phillips.
Well, the reason why they kick early in the tackle is because Australia do not drop a sweeper back until the last 5.
Griffiths, dummy half. Picked up by Harris. Gets the ball away. And immediately, Kevin Ellis is enveloped by Alan Langer. Perrott now.
Langer's jumping out of his skin in defensive play.
Harris, the ball out wide. Here's Caudle. Oh, that's not the best kick in the world. But they've managed to get it back. And here's Ford. There's 2 out wide. Gibbs is one of them. Ford fancies his chances. Gibbs is there. Ellis is there. And Roberts with a crunching tackle. That was the last of that set of 6. Good play from Wales, but if the ball would have been spun out wide, perhaps Sullivan would have been in.
Either way, it was a good run by Ford as well. Nice play, though, from Fittler. He realises the desperation. But it was a wonderful tackle by the prop forward, Ian Roberts, on Kevin Ellis. You said he was a cruncher, Eddie. Oh, that was the operative word.
Walters. Wishart. Picking up pace, Wishart. Away from Ford. Support is there from Meninga. And Meninga will score. Wishart created it with the run. He waited for the support, and the skipper arrived at just the right time.
Well, they say the big Australian skipper Mal Meninga has lost a lot of speed, but this was really taking the clock back to 90 at Old Trafford, wasn't it, where the big fella went down the middle while Wishart was jinking and running away. Superb support play. Excellent try. The big man, he took the easiest route down the middle. It was Sailor that sent off now. Got the ball out wide, and once they got the link working, but they should have put this man down. He's a talented winger, Wishart. Straight round forward, he couldn't get to him, but look how Meninga has taken it the shortest way. Inside on the support. Great vision by the big man.
Meninga then, captain of this Kangaroo Tour. Wishart, another chance for another two. Not a problem for Rod Wishart on this sort of form. That's 5 goals from him and 30 points for Australia. And the first of those records that comes into view is the 9 goals scored by Dave Brown in 1933-34. So Rod Wishart is certainly within sight of that. But it was Meninga's try as we are deep in stoppage time in this first half.
Beautiful play there by Meninga. Any of you youngsters watching out there, you could see how the support play took the shortest route, knew that the ball was going to perhaps come back on the inside.
From the kick-off, it's Wendell Sailor who will run the ball back at this Welsh team. He's been very busy on this tour as the Australian winger. And the unusual thing about him is he made his Test debut, and it's unusual in Australia to do that without having played State of Origin football, but that's what Wendell Sailor did. Meanwhile, the wet and slippy conditions contriving mistakes there from both sides, but it's the first knock-on by Lazarus.
Lazarus not happy with it. It was a real cruncher from Roland Phillips. Used the shoulder, did the second rower.
John Connolly waiting for the timekeepers, and there will be plenty of stoppage time in this first half after the fight and then the injured players. And in fact there was 2 minutes and 53 seconds of it, but Rod Wishart has certainly set Ninian Park alight with his goal kicking, 5 of them, and also a try. So it's been a great day so far for him, and the Australians sent on their way by David Furner with the first try after only 5 minutes. But they have now scored 5 tries in this opening half. They lead by 30 points to 0. The Welsh with players hurt and injured off the field, and they will be injured by that scoreline at the break. So the second half of this John Smith's tour match underway. The Australians ahead by 30 points to 0, and they have made 3 changes at half-time. They have brought on their entire substitutes bench. Florimo and Furley and Harrigan, they've all come on. And they have come on for Steve Walters, for Paul Sirenen and David Furner. It was always known that the Australian substitutes would come on at half-time, no matter what the state of the match. And at 30-0, they can introduce really as many as they wish. But Adrian Hadley has also been withdrawn by Wales, and Dio Powell of Bradford Northern has come on. So 1 or 2 changes. And David Young, by the way, has bravely returned from the dressing room, the Welsh captain. His head there, number 8, is heavily bandaged. And he will lead from the front, having had stitches in a head wound. Knock-on is the referee's decision. John Connolly, meanwhile.
Never had any hold of that possession there, the full-back.
Good chase by Harris.
Nice kick, good tactics as well. This time it was Wishart that was on song.
Wendell Sailor dumped to the ground. Sailor from the Brisbane club. Wigan, of course, know all about him. A try against them in the World Club Challenge last June. And he's really been the man who has caught the eye in this Kangaroo Tour of '94. He's had a great tour. Forced his way into the Test team.
Good play there by Kevin Walters. He could see that the second rower, Moriarty, was down on the field. took advantage of it, went on the blind side. It was a good run, and that's another great kick, right into the corner.
Yes, Gerald Caudle will have to run this out. Look at the wall of green and gold that are against him, and Caudle's running behind his own sticks. Oh, what on earth was Caudle thinking of then?
Sullivan looks there in total dismay. What on earth was he doing? Rush of blood there. He did well to get out of the way. The kick and chase game was excellent for Australia, but they couldn't get across to him. And this is where the rush of blood went berserk. To nobody. Wendell Sailor couldn't believe it. He thought he was going to get a gift 4 points. Either way, with the dropout.
Harris with some length on the kick, collected by Mullins spectacularly, and he finds Fairley. Good run from Harrigan.
They're looking pretty tired out for this Welsh side now in defence. They're not moving up at all.
But aren't they doing well in terms of possession? Fingertip control, not quite from Florimo. Second try was beckoning for him. Ford is tackled behind his own line by Kevin Walters. But the referee will play the knock-on from Florimo.
Fingertip control, but just failed at the end. The substitute Florimo nearly got it. Good refereeing though by Connolly. He allowed the play on. Found that it wasn't to the advantage of the Welsh side. Head and feet.
Here's Mark Perrott. You say this Ninian Park field is standing up to the treatment that these two sides are giving it today superbly, considering the amount of rain that has fallen here. And I'm sure also, by the way, that the rain has affected the size of the crowd. Although I think there's approaching 9,000 inside the ground. I think they would have been well into the 10, 11 or 12,000 mark for this visit of the Kangaroos had they not had this awful rain that has fallen for much of the day. Don't forget, coming up after the match tonight, we have all the tries from the First Division. Some important games being played in the Stones Bidder Championship too, not least of them Castleford against Bradford Northern at the top of the table.
Super run by the fullback, Brett Mullins. Look how he just skipped in and out there.
Fairley with this run. Perrott round him. Ellis there too. And Roland Phillips. Florimo trying to run straight over the top of Dio Powell. We've 20 minutes to go in this match. Australia well in command and in possession with Renouf, and he has got Sailor inside him, but he doesn't need Wendell Sailor. And Steve Renouf, that's his second of the match, and he has all the pace in the world, doesn't he, this Australian Test Centre.
With such a commanding lead, you can afford to play dry weather type football. Normally in wet conditions you wouldn't bother to try two long balls like that, but it was a beautiful pass from Fittler. Just hand it straight through there. This guy has all the speed. He knows he dives early. So slippery, he knows he'd get over there. Long ball, missed the man out. Fittler will do exactly the same thing. Wonderful positioning there. I'm afraid Scott Gibbs could do nothing about that. Just a little fend. Notice how he just looked at Ford coming across and dived early. Wonderful play. Two long passes. See how they pull the man out there. Scott Gibbs got to make that contact. He didn't. Excellent try.
So Rod Wishart, 6 from 6. This by far the most difficult. And he misses the first one of the afternoon, so it's 6 from 7 for the Illawarra winger, but 40 points to 4 for Australia.
Returning and replacing number 10, Ian Roberts.
There you can see Scott Gibbs, you've got to go in early. If you give this man half the chance. Beautiful fend with the right hand. Notice how he carried the ball in the left hand so he could get that fend away. Excellent player, that man, Steve Renouf. A great talent.
And 23 tries in 21 appearances in 1994 for the Brisbane Broncos. And with 2 today here, that makes it 5 tries for this 1994 tour for him. And the Australians have made a change. Ian Roberts has gone off and Paul Sirenen has returned. The Welsh now have the possession midway inside the Aussies' half of the field with Iestyn Harris.
Still playing with a lot of confidence, trying to get the step in there, but it's very difficult. But this Australian defence is strong. Look at that, they're coming waves, don't they? So hard to break them down. Kicking game is about the only thing you can use.
Just looking down the records at the moment, this is the widest margin between these two sides. 36 points, but not the record score against the Welsh by Australia. That 51 points to 19 on that 1933-34 tour at Wembley. 51-19 then, 44 here today. And a penalty to the Welsh from John Connolly. Ellis. Australians penalised for offside, and so the Welsh in possession with Harris, who was looking out wide there for a long pass but thought better of it. The Welsh keeping it alive. Here's Young.
Yes, the youngster Harris was trying to do the dummy there and looking for someone to come scraping onto the ball tight and fast, but there's no one there.
And David Young here drops the ball. Well, there was a third arm in, wasn't there?
There certainly was. Glenn Lazarus. In these conditions, difficult for the referee. He's had his work cut out today, John Connolly. It was getting very warm, wasn't it?
It was. A high error count, Steve-O, understandable.
Well, you can see the driving rain. In a comfortable position for the referee either.
Langer with the possession from the scrum. Mullins. Where's the ball?
He's lost it. He definitely lost it there, the fullback. Limbs are getting pretty tired there, arms getting involved. Just like a piece of soap at the moment.
And David Young, understandably, is back in the blood bin. So Richard Webster is the man who is going to come in to this scrum for David Young, who goes off for yet more treatment.
Replacing number 8, David Young.
Ellis gets the possession from the scrum. Dinks one over the top for Sullivan's speed. Sailor taking no chances whatsoever. They might be 40 points to 4 up, but safety first.
Did well there, did the winger. Wendell Sailor knew that people were advancing towards him. Nice option, though, by the Welsh side. Kicking virtually from on the first tackle.
Well, another big score here by the Australians. Their tour began on the 2nd of October in Cumbria with a 52 points to 8 win. It was a comfortable start. They've brushed Leeds aside, 48-6, Wigan 30-20, Castleford 38-12, Halifax 26-12, Sheffield 80 points to 2. They lost to Great Britain, of course, and they're on their way to another big win here.
There you can see Glenn Lazarus just ripping off the second row of Paul Moriarty's headgear.
Griffiths gets the ball out wide to Sullivan. Sullivan, it was just a little bit too far in front of him, tried to get in with the fingertips and failed.
Nice little half break, though, by Griffiths. Pass wasn't all that good. Not the best day, of course, for the flying wingman on both sides.
Replacing number 14, Gerald Caudle.
So Caudle is going off and Jason Lee comes on. Caudle taking his place on the bench. Got a glimpse there of Scott Quinnell also watching this match. Jason Lee, he hasn't played in the first team yet at Warrington, the former Dudley Hill amateur from Bradford, and he comes onto the field for quite a debut.
Must be some sort of record, that. Playing your international at first grade before actually playing at first grade for your club.
Well, Clive Griffiths, the Welsh coach, is his coach at Wilderspool, knows all about him. There was some debate whether it would be Scott Quinnell or Jason Lee with the fourth substitute's job for Wales. And Clive Griffiths deciding to leave Quinnell out for the time being. He too, of course, hasn't yet made it to the big league with Wigan since his much publicised change of codes earlier this season. And here's Sironen. Oh, he drops it. That's a definite drop. Roland Phillips will pick it up.
Both sides getting tired now. It's been a hard slog out there. Relenting this rain.
Moriarty gets the ball out to Gibbs. He just plants it forward with the sidestep into the arms of Mullins. Here goes Mullins. Oh, he gets away from the challenge of Harris. Wales trying to track him down in the shape of Ford. Ball inside to Renouf. Renouf drops it. And Mullins was tackled brilliantly, soccer style, by Iestyn Harris.
Nice run, though, from the fullback, wasn't it? Well played by Mark Perrott. He got across in the cover. It was the youngster, Harris, that dropped on the loose ball. Real talent, that guy, Brett Mullins. Had a tremendous season in Australia.
Come on, roll away.
The Canberra Raiders.
Lazarus, we're told, Glenn Lazarus, the Australian prop forward, has gone off the field with a groin strain. The Australians have come into this match with just 3 substitutes, so no one to replace him. So they will continue with what they've got. And Lazarus with the groin strain.
Nice little chip through there by Iestyn Harris. Well, he's certainly not been overawed by the occasion. He's shown his skills.
Wishart trying to turn Ford inside out. Ford sticking to the task well. It bounces off the arms of Meninga. Wales have it back. Ellis out wide to Sullivan. And Sullivan taking on Renouf, and Renouf doing well. St Helens winger tried to milk the penalty, referee having none of it. And then Wales dropped the ball. It's very, very scrappy from both sides, but these conditions are not helping to produce a spectacle. But the tries that we have seen from Australia, they have been worth the admission money alone, and I'm sure that Dio Powell's was worth the admission money for any Welshman. Wishart again, they can't bring him down. Walters is there in support. Walters turns the ball back inside to Langer, and Langer, with Perrott and Ford to beat, just couldn't get away from the Halifax loose forward. Wishart again, loses it. Wales lose it.
Well, it's becoming a little bit farcical now. Very, very slippy. Not so sure that Ford was straight on at the play of the ball. It looked to be to the side of it there.
No one could get hold of it there, could they?
No.
But here's the break.
Good break as well. Well supported by Walters. Nice pass on the inside. Just couldn't get through Alfie Langer. He's had a better game today, Langer, to be happy with that.
Oh, Wales won't be happy with that, though. Another big error from number 15, Jason Lee. The first time that Lee touched the ball. Into nowhere in particular. Sliding challenge from Florimo, who keeps the ball for the Australians. Langer. And here's Fittler. Dabs it through. Sweeping up is Harris. And he appeared to knock on, got a boot to it.
Just didn't take control of it there. Did knock on behind the in-goal area. They'll elect for the dropout underneath a 6. Had a fine game, though. He read that well, knew that the kick was coming through from Fittler.
I think if the Rugby Football League would have selected a date for this match, they couldn't have picked a worse one for the weather. And the pitch at Ninian Park, though standing up to it well, is rapidly becoming waterlogged. You can see the mud and the water splashing off the players' boots.
I think the most important factor about this second half is that tempers certainly calmed down.
Yes, they've got on with the job, haven't they, rather than trying to slug it. Lovely ball from Fittler to the substitute. Fairly good defence from Wales on that occasion. They do, Steve-O, defend the flag with a lot of pride and determination, the Welsh. There's no doubt about that.
They put in the effort, but they're just totally outclassed, I'm afraid. They don't have a lot of depth. They've got a lot of work to do before they can prepare for the World Cup next year, of course.
And getting hit by the body blow of the Devereux injury early on would certainly not have done their cause any favours at all. Here's Suriname, and of course Davis out before the match as well. But guts, determination, and they're showing it right the way through to the end here as they defend doggedly against the Aussies, but they can't stop Fittler. And there is another try for the Australians. Brad Fittler with the try, his first on this tour.
He fully deserved this, Fittler. He's played well. Neat little pass there from Lange. This defence, I'm afraid, is shot to pieces on the Welsh side. Just a nice little short pass. Look how Lange goes at the angle. Well taken by Fittler there. Running into the gap. Lange will just hesitate just a little bit there. See, Harris had been pulled out of the defensive line. They really are a talented outfit, the Kangaroos. That man, in my opinion, is probably now being classed as one of the great forwards in world football.
Standoff half in the 1992 World Cup final at Wembley, of course. Centre in the Ashes triumph earlier that year. Youngest member of the 1990 party, but established now, as Steve-O says, as one of the great forwards in the game.
Quite a lot of controversy when Fittler actually went into the pack at his club at Penrith, but he made a great fist of it, and he's turning out to be a real talent.
Wishart then 6 out of 7. This 7 out of 8. And as I said earlier in this match, I wonder whether Wishart is kicking his way towards Old Trafford.
Well, the coach Bobby Fulton will be fully aware. This is a nice little pass that you'll see from Lange once again. Look how he just runs at that angle there, just pulls it in. Poor Harris was sucked into it, and away he went.
So Fittler's try, but credit the Welsh, you know. They have restricted the Australians to 3 tries in this second half, having been hit for 5 in the first 40 minutes. But still, they're on the wrong end of a 46 points to 4 scoreline. And the Aussies, who before this match had scored 51 tries in 7 games, with the 8 here today, they have increased that tally to 59 in 8 matches. They are a green and gold machine, but they can be beaten, and let's hope that Great Britain do the trick at Old Trafford next week. They're not the Invincibles of 82 and 86, Steve-O, there's no doubt about that.
Yes, they are only human beings, as we saw at Wembley. But defence is a key. Coach Bobby Fulton drills that into the Kangaroo side all the time. Okay, they went astray at Wembley, but believe you me, they will bounce back. It will be a cracker.
The referee there ruled that drop ball from Alan Lange went backwards. Aussie's off the hook then. Meninga kicks downfield. Wishart and Meninga, the captain, leading the chase on Phil Ford. Looking for a mistake in his own quarter from the Welsh full-back. Did well. Jason Lee again.
Nice kick and chase, though, by the Australians. Deep kick by the skipper, Mal Meninga. Been pretty quiet, though, as Big Mal.
Good hands from the Welsh until it reached Sullivan. 2 quick passes out wide, and Sullivan just couldn't hang on to it.
Well, it was a perfect pass from Scott Gibbs. Okay, a little bit high. He really should have taken that. Not many chances have come his way. Disappointed with that.
Yes, he'd be upset because he's had an excellent season so far for St Helens.
Man of the match from Australia, number 4, Steve Renouf.
You've probably heard the PA announcement in the background that Steve Renouf has been named the man of the match, the Australian centre. 2 tries from him. Certainly has caught the eye of the Australian and British press watching this.
There you can see the Welsh wheeling the pack, and it looks like they're going to get away with it. Good play.
Yes, they did well there. Scott Gibbs. Harris hangs on at the second attempt. Good long ball out here to Lee. Jason Lee. The tackle is not completed. He's able to carry on. That's good play from young Lee. Dummy half is Dio Powell, the try scorer in this second half. He's after another. Desperate defence from Australia, 46-4, but they shall not pass. That's their motto. Here's Harris. Changes the direction again. Perrett drops it again. Oh, they'll be frustrated with all the chances they've created and all the ball they've put down, the Welsh.
Well, Harris did well to get it away, but Perrett just couldn't hang on to it. That was good play by the Welsh side. You could see they got one against the head just by wheeling the scrum.
2 minutes left for play here at Ninian Park. The Australians now in 8 matches so far have scored 324 points. They certainly turn up and give value for money, don't they? Let's hope they don't give value for money at Old Trafford next week, and the British do. The Ashes beckon for Great Britain. Let's hope it's a great day. Of course, the Aussies won't care if they lose every other match on this tour, so long as they win the next 2 tests. Let's hope that we can send them home this time with their tails well and truly between their legs.
Wendell Sailor having a little bit of argy-bargy in the background. You probably heard the touch judge saying, get on with it, leave him alone. Well, let's hope the tempers don't flare with just a few minutes remaining. You can see that Sullivan was holding him back. An exchange of words, a bit of argy-bargy with that man, Sullivan.
Sullivan, I think, just querying with a raise of the eyebrows whether Wendell Sailor wants to continue the debate. Play will go on, and not the best pass in the world. It's got to be a knock-on.
It is.
And no wonder there's a little look over the shoulder there.
Not the best pass from Jonathan Griffiths. No chance for the substitute, Dio Powell. Rather interesting to see there, the little halfback, Alan Langer, who was in the second marker. There's only a few little talk with his own teammates. He grabbed hold of Walters and says, get back, and Walters just pushed him away. He said, let me do my job.
Fittler tried to dab that through on the rainy surface there, but dear me, what a crunching tackle coming in from Florimo on Sullivan when he picked up the loose pass. Well, we're having our last look on Sky Sports at Mal Meninga in a green and gold jersey. Rung down the curtain on his club career back home with the grand final success for Canberra, and he's done so well in state of origin, in international football, and so desperate, the number 3, there he is on top of the second rower, Roland Phillips, so desperate to end his career with another Ashes winning success in this country. But I hope he'll pardon us if we say that we hope Great Britain spoil his retirement party. Been a great ambassador for the game, hasn't he? And every time these Kangaroos, Steve-O, are in these shores, the prominence of the game of rugby league lifts considerably.
Yeah, there we see the replay of the kick from Kevin Ellis. It's a good kick right downfield.
That's the siren then. Australia have won. Mal Meninga has led his team to Wales and come away with a victory, 46 points to 4. 8 tries from the Kangaroos. Brett Mullins, the fullback, scoring in the first half. Iestyn Harris, though, has really played exceptionally well in the standoff half jersey for Wales. Steve Renouf, the man of the match, judged by the British and Australian press. A hard-fought, bloody encounter in many ways. Devereux in hospital with a believed double fracture of the jaw, but guts, determination at the end of the day, proving not enough for the Welshman. Well and truly beaten by this Kangaroo team, 46 points to 4.